Here's a neat Automag that came off eBay. Actually, it's a Minimag. You can see it has the Minimag body, has the Minimag valve. It's actually a pretty early Minimag valve, but I bought this because I was under the impression that it was a Predator Automag, milled by Dirk Gadberry for Opalic at Predator Paintball. They would normally have a sticker on the top, but upon receiving it, I showed it to Dirk and he said he didn't think it was one of his, and then I took a closer look and I don't think it's one of his either. You can see that the rail has one long cut in the front and then it has 3 cuts in the back, which is kind of neat. It has a anodized to match cut double trigger frame or single trigger that's been cut for the double trigger, anodized to match trigger plate. It's a little rough. It's like, if you look in here, you can see there's some raw cuts around the trigger right there. Has the UK Fat Boy grips on it. Then it has a matched front vertical ASA with this gas through, but unfortunately someone thought it was a really great idea to sand this down. So that's a bummer, but maybe I can find another vertical ASA in the same pattern. Wouldn't have the same cuts, but I don't know. We can see the cuts on the body up here, which make it pretty unique. You don't see very many Automags and Minimags with cuts on the body, so that's kind of cool. Fortunately, there's also a little sanding on the top of the power feed here, match power feed plug, and we flip it over, and of course the Smart Parts Magic Box, which is matched to it, which kind of made me pull the trigger on it, because I do have a couple Magic Box mags, but I don't have any that are splashed, and it's pretty hard to find a splashed one. Thought that was pretty exciting. And then if we look at the valve, we can see it's MM00131, and I asked Tom K what they started the Minimag valve numbers at, and he said something to the degree of, since they started the standard Automag valves at 100, they probably did the same thing for the Minimag valves, which would make this either the 31st or the 32nd Minimag valve, depending on what they started on. So that's pretty neat. Then we have an OTP barrel on here. It's not going to come out, but take another quick look at the matched Magic Box here. So this is essentially a volume chamber, and what it does is you have air comes into it and it basically gives it a little bit more volume here. The valve is also cut for the 8-hole mod. So now let's take a look at the valve. I'll take it off the body and we'll take a look at it. All right, so here is our disassembled Minimag, and first let's take a look at this OTP barrel. Let's see the G1 logo there. We can see the OTP logo there, and so now we'll take another look at this Minimag. We can see the cuts in the body, and I like them just because you rarely ever see that. And again, we can see the damage on the power feed, not ideal. We can also see the cut for the Magic Box, which appears right on the side of the body there. Then we look at the Magic Box here, and we can see how that would actually slide in and how the body has to have clearance for it, which is neat. So now let's disassemble the valve and take a look at it. All right, so now we have our valve disassembled, and we can see here's our Minimag valve, and here's our serial number again. We can see that it is cut for the 8-hole mod. I don't know if this was a cut that was done by Smart Parts when they were doing the Magic Box, or if it was cut by someone else, but it's definitely not the cut that Dirk Gadberry would do. His was much cleaner and much more intense. We can see this one is not ideal. Looks like somebody just kind of drilled away at it, but still an 8-hole mod, still need to see. And then we look at the front of the valve. Again, we can see that same matching serial number, mostly hidden by the Magic Box. We can see it's an early valve. It is stamped. That probably was to do with maybe indexing to keep the valve in line. So I don't know how it would actually line up. The Magic Box, just kind of looking around it, we can see the aluminum body of it, and just kind of clamped on. It's just kind of usually clamped onto 2 brass fittings, and I guess it has an aluminum plug on the end of one of them, just kind of obstructed, but we can see the steel fitting there that's inside, and that's just, I don't even think they're connected inside of this. I think they're just 2 rods sticking out that just give you a little extra volume. One volume is as air comes in one volume fills up the area inside your power tube for when you actually get your shot fired. So one thing about the Magic Box is some players found that with a mix of high pressure air and nitrogen, you would actually be able to increase the temperature as you were shooting it, and that would give you a higher FPS. So that was kind of an easy way to trick the judge or the field marshal or the referee that was chronoing you. So that's just a little bit of insight onto what the Magic Box was actually used for, and that was specifically with the Magic Box. So pretty neat. So now we'll reassemble. So I thought we should also take a look at the on-off. Here it is, just a stock on-off. I don't think this is a Smart Parts cut. I think this is just the AGD cut right here. And then inside we can see that it doesn't look like our holes were enlarged at all, our power tube hole. So just looking stock. And then just another thing to look at, the bolt, which is a ANS Phase 2 Venturi bolt made by Sergey Levkov at Technical Troubleshooting, or ANS, has the foamy still attached, has the kick-ass Paintball Products, the cap turning lock, which I'm going to take off, probably try to find a match splash one eventually. And of course a quick look at the view loader revolution that it came with. So this is I thought it would be the more brittle shell, but after examining it, it actually is crack free, which I was pretty surprised to see, considering how thrashed the actual gun was.